Hi, everybody. I'm Michael Baruti, and I want to thank y'all for being here today. The reason that we're here is our very first kickoff fundraiser for Mothers Against Youth Genocide. And we have plenty of food, drinks, and all those things. And we have a very short time. So we really want you to feel at home very quickly and get the essence of what we're going to all experience today and the information because we need you. Mothers Against Youth Genocide is an organization that was created by many people, but it was founded by Tom Robinson, this beautiful lady right here. Her daughter was killed in police custody, and because of it, for many years, she has worked tirelessly to get justice for her daughter's murder, just as this lady sitting here. And she'll be able to share with you her story, but we're all going to talk amongst each other informally and get to know one another. And Mothers Against Youth Genocide is not just an organization to get justice for Aja Dixon, but it's an organization that works in every form to create realities for our youth where they can have a certain quality of life. One of the objectives of Mothers Against Youth Genocide is to create scholarships for young women, and these scholarships in turn maybe do something for them in any area of their life in a positive manner that can probably pull them away from certain type of reality. So Mothers Against Youth Genocide is very necessary. We know that there is an attack, and it's a very vicious one. And a lot of people have suffered from it. And people in this room can give you their own experiences of it. And it's an unfortunate reality, but it's one that cannot be ignored. But the way to combat this reality is to be unified with a common idea to combat it. So that's why we're here. And it's time. She's going to share some things with us. And I would hope that you are willing to share some information with us. And people that are in the room who can make contributions to any efforts that they have in regards to this is very welcome. This is DJ Rashawn. He's our revolutionary DJ. He spins the tunes. He spins the tunes that we shall hear for like things that can move us and unite us. You know, there's all kinds of tunes, you know. Part of something that we deal with Mothers Against Youth Genocide. There's a lot of things, a lot of contradictions in society that have our youth moving a certain type of a way. But this DJ here in Dallas, he keeps us moving in a manner that's progressive for us. So we appreciate his services and being here. There's a lot of new faces that I haven't seen before, or people who may not know each other. But we do have a short amount of time. And we have plenty of food, so we want to eat it, and we want to talk. You know what I'm saying? We want to talk. You know? So I want to introduce you to let me see who I want to introduce you to right quick. I just want to be sure. I want to introduce you to Brother Osiris. But before I introduce you to Brother Osiris, I think if with your permission, is it okay if people start to move about and get food and stuff? Yes. So we don't want it to be cold on. This sister Ebony, she worked really, really hard in the community. And we appreciate her. But feel free to get some food, and then DJ Rashawn, if you can like spin us the tune, and then Brother Cyrus come up and holler at us. Right? Please go ahead and take your put it on I am so intrigued. Well, no, maybe I calm down and told you. Yeah, I know.
Mr. Policeman! gun, thought it was the one. Shot him down, y'all. That ain't right. Then his mama screamed. Ain't no need for sunlight. Ain't no need for this is thing to name. 1961, 1962, 1961, 1962, 19. Hey, the mama city's burning. The mama city's burning. Break out the money is burning. Break out the money is burning. Hey, hey, hey. It's burning. Can't you see that it's burning? Hey, hey. 1961, 1962, 1961, 1962, 1961, 1962.
Everybody got some food. Bring your food, please. Make sure everybody good with food. Okay. I want to show y'all something. Okay, so I'm gonna pass it. Don't come around. But here is it says the National Coalition in partnership with MAGI. MAGI is Mothers Against Youth Genocide. On the picture, which is what you would call a logo or emblem for Mothers Against Youth Genocide, you see a rose, and what else do you see? Chains. You see chains. What do you see? Red spots. You see the rose. You see the chains. You see the red color black. The red spots. Color black. You see blood, right? You see the blood. There. So everybody that's in this room had a chance to see this. Right. No. It's a rose with a shackle. This is the logo for Brothers Against Genocide. Rose, shackle, and blood. The reason why I want to try to see this clearly, I want to try to see this clearly so y'all can understand exactly what it means to Miss Robinson, what it means to Miss Verona, what it means to Miss Cora, what it means to me, what it means to many people who value life. And those people that value life are us. Is there anybody in this room that do not value life? Their own, first your own. But can you imagine having a child whose life is just taken away for no reason at all? Mm-hmm. A reason that is one of selfishness? And that, it's just totally unjust. This is what this picture represents. The rose in Miss Robinson's understanding, and it's quite clear to me, is Aja. Her daughter to her was a rose. That's what she seen when she saw her daughter. The blood that you see is being squeezed from it. That's her daughter. Her blood was shed. And the shackles, they speak volumes themselves in many forms. This is what we're up against. Mothers Against Youth Genocide wants you to understand this imagery. We want you to understand why it's necessary for mothers to fight against youth genocide. And it could be any of us can lose our children. It's just a knock at the door, a phone call, in many circumstances. But what we want to do is we want to be advocates for our people. We want to create realities where our people don't have to contend with certain things. So we got to change certain types of conditions, change certain type of ways. And anytime we come up against these type of forces, those forces must be dealt with. So Mothers Against Youth Genocide, that's the objective. And with Mothers Against Youth Genocide, there are many organizations in the Dallas community and nationwide that work in efforts, partnership, coalition to combat that reality. So Brother Osiris X, he's a member of the New Black Panther Party, which is a party here in Dallas, but they have national chapters throughout the world, particularly the United States of America. I'd probably be incorrect when I say internationally, I'm not sure. But I know in the United States of America, they have many chapters. So Brother X would work in coalition with many parties, and this is one. And he's going to speak to us and let us know what efforts are on the ground in coalition with Mothers Against Youth Genocide.
Peace and blessings, family. How's everybody doing?
Right.
I just want to come up for a few moments and just share with y'all the severity and the reality of the situation we're dealing with. When we're talking about genocide of our youth, black on black crime, and police terrorism, as we know it as. You got to understand anytime that I come up here as nationalists against the Black Panther Party to remind you that we are people at war. And if you don't get that in your head, if you don't understand that, you're going to be missing very, very critical understanding of what time it is. And this war has intensified since 1971. This war has intensified with Richard Nixon when he first began to make moves and to get into office, because what he wanted to do was do something called the war on crime. That's how he was trying to get an election. This is 1971. This is the year that I was born. This is also the year Tupac Shakur. After they destroyed the Black Panther Party and all other black revolutionary organizations, they understood that the next generation that was coming up would be a little bit more militant. They would be a little bit more outspoken. They would do everything they had to do to break the chains and change the conditions that plagued black people in America. They understood that, and with that being said, they understood that they began a covert war on black people. I say this and I can back it up. I have the proof to back it up. Ever since the time of 1971, we went into the 80s when they introduced crack cocaine to the black community. J. Edgar Hoover's COINTELPRO program said, we must deal wisely with them unless a black messiah rises up amongst them and unites the masses of the people. So they understood that they had to systematically neutralize the movement. In doing so, they decided that they would do a war on crime, a war on drugs, which really is just a war on us. They built penitentiaries and are building penitentiaries today. Because the reality of it is, people, they understand that as long as they got us no jobs, controlled education, and build prisons. There is no jobs for us, so the wise ones amongst them decided, hey, we can't educate them, we can't give them jobs, then we'll go ahead and we'll start institutionalized slavery. It was really just the 13th Amendment. And that amendment said, if you're a slave, you abolish it, but if you become a warden of the state. That's why we talk about it from school to prison pipelines in America. In every school system now, in all major cities, you'll see metal detectors in your schools. Because they're wise enough to understand that the school system is the gateway to the prison system. This is a covert war. They understood that we've always had what we call street tribes, but you label them gangs. Freeway Ricky Ross and Maxine Waters, Congress and Maxine Waters told you that the CIA was bringing in crack cocaine to the black neighborhood. This is nothing new to us. But you got to understand that with the war in Afghanistan, war in Iraq, that there's more black youth that died in Chicago than there have been in Iraq and Afghanistan. That is a war. And right now they're getting ATV, armed personnel carrying vehicles, and they're starting to arm their police departments with these vehicles. Their SWAT teams and police departments are becoming more militarized. They're clans. With Homeland Security orders 40 million rounds of 40 cal ammunition. As a private sector organization, you have to understand why they're buying up so much ammunition. Now, I'm not here to make you afraid. I'm not here to put fear in you. I'm here to tell you the reality of the situation. The police department is a ward of the state. The police department is not here to protect you. That's true. That's right. The police department is here to take on certain legislations and laws and to back up the state, to build more prisons, to build. You go down to Lucid area, and if you ever go in there, you see people coming in and out all the time. And that's money. It's all about money. So the reality of it, brothers and sisters, when racism is infused with police brutality, my cousin's a sheriff's deputy, and I've had a chance to train with some of them. I understand their mentality. I'm not saying that when you see a good police officer trying to do something, there's 20 or 30 more that's rough, underpaid, stressed out, and they're racist.
Tell me about that.
They have the training, but if you see a young brother and he's doing this, the first thing you're doing, you're going for your gun. But on your belt, you have a taser. On your belt, you have OC spray. On your belt, you have a baton. So you mean to tell me you're going to go from force, and force curriculum is like this. You can only be forced with the amount of force that's being presented with you. Right. So there's no need to go to death with force and protection. That shows me that they're not trained properly. That shows me that they're desensitized when they come to our community. Because what you have is an FTO, a field training officer, that will tell their rookie police officer, I know you went to the academy and we trained you well, but you better throw all that out the window because you're in the ghetto now. And these niggas is flying to everything. So their mentality goes from I'm gonna do my job to I can't trust them. I know what I'm talking about. We have to begin as a people to organize ourselves on a local level, the national level, and the international level. This is just not going on in Dallas. This is going on all over the country. My fear is black people are too desensitized to the suffering of our people.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
I tell people all the time, you don't understand, like the sister was saying, until it happens to your child. So before it happens to our children, my nieces, our daughters, our grandsons, I'm organized right now to make a difference so we can eradicate this. That's right. But when it happens to your child, your niece, your daughter, now we want to organize. And I hate that about us as people. We are so far behind on what they're doing to us. This is our future. It doesn't matter about me because I will live my life. I will give my life. But it's about our children. You have to understand that their plans are 20, 30, 40 years in advance when we're talking about a society. This country is becoming fascist like Nazi Germany. And you'll go to YouTube. One thing you got to understand is law. We have to begin to protect ourselves. So you see the brothers with the cameras. We have to teach training systems. We have to go to the. I was a member of an organization called Emoji with Pastor Snowball. With the new Black Panther Party, actually got the chokehold eradicated from the Dallas Police Department. That's one of the things we did. We had to go to the community, do town hall meetings, and say, this is how you interact with the police. When they stop you, keep your hands on them. When they stop you, it's best to go ahead and have your identification. When they come to the window, 2 hands on the steering wheel, and when they come to the steering wheel, tell the officer, do you mind if I get my, it's sad that you have to do that. Hands out the window. But we have to understand law. Can the police detain you? What is the difference between being detained and being arrested? So when they come upon you, you talking to them, am I being detained? Am I being arrested? Why won't you stand here and talk to me? Sir, am I being detained? Am I being arrested? Because if I'm being arrested, I will comply. If I'm not being detained, I'm free to leave. But our children don't know the law. We don't know the law. We have to equip them with law. We have to be prepared right now to, when your child is attacked, that's my child. So we have to go back to the village mentality. We need our elders, we need our youth, because we understand in our communities, the two people that suffer in our communities is our elders and our youth. The people that's in between have moved out of the community. We have to build back up our communities. We need rites of passage programs for our young women and our young men. We have to teach our young women how to be young women. We have definitely got to teach our young men how to be young men. To be respected in this society. So whatever I can do, our dear sister, you know that I'm on the phone with my national chair, Sister Crystal Muhammad, who's been talking to us grandparents, been talking to the descendants in Till, been talking to Trayvon Martin parents, and what's happening is they're building a national coalition right as we speak right now. And they're going to march in Washington, D.C., and they're going to say, we descendants of African Americans, we the descendants have the right to assemble, but not only take it to the federal government, we're going to take it to the United Nations. Yes. Because we're looking at this is atrocities that's happening to us. And that's what Malcolm was going to do. Malcolm was going to try America in the world. Because you're not getting this thing is not about civil rights, this thing's about human rights. Right? That's right. Civil rights let you go to the bathroom, but the civil rights let you drink from the toilet. We're saying you could violate our human rights. That's right. As a man, as a woman, that's right. I have rights, and you're violating those rights. So we're going to organize here on the local level. But again, sister, I patched you in. We were on the conference call. You're not alone. We have organizations here in Dallas, and like I said, since from the time I talked to you, whatever I can do, whatever experience I can do, if you want to do town hall meetings, if you want whatever you want to do, I am here for you. God, thank y'all for listening to me. I have fun.
A lot of people here are unaware of who Aja was, or some of the details of her circumstances, which Aja gave birth to Mothers Against Youth Genocide. You know, we're here for a fundraiser for Mothers Against Youth Genocide. We want to raise funds for it, but I think that you should be aware of the history of how it came into existence. So, if you could give us a brief history of Aja and her case.
Grace and peace, everyone. I am Aja's mother. My name is Deborah Ishtan Robinson. Can you hear me? Yes. Sometimes my voice falls. Not that I'm afraid to speak up. It's just that sometimes I'm just meditating. I'm a meditative mode. That's kind of what parents is, what I've done since I've lost Aja. I pace myself because my energy is depleted. But she gives me energy and synergy to get back up and fight. And so Aja was a phenomenal woman, young woman. To know her was to love her. I'm sort of on the shy side, but not Aja. Aja would come into a room and take it over. She was a fighter. She happened to be attending Navarro Community College in Corsicana, Texas, for one semester. My mother, this lovely woman over here, Miss Rona Carrington, is a native Texan. She's been here for 40 years. And so I wanted to get Aja away from New York. She's from New York City. I'm from New York City, but I've always been coming back to Texas for years since I was 18. So I consider myself a dual resident. But anyway, to make a long story short, she was attending the Navarro Community College for one semester, just to catch up on her credits. And I want to say this, preface this before I say anything else. I didn't get into this fight when I lost Aja. I was already in this fight. I was working for Senator Eric Adams out of Brooklyn, New York, as a family violence specialist. By trade, I'm a clinical psychotherapist, and I'm also clergy. I'm ordained in the AME Church. So I've been fighting all my life for civil human rights. I fought for it from the pulpit. So this is not new to me and for me. So I just want to, you don't know me, but if you were to just go online and look me up, you'll see the work that I've been doing. And it predates what happened to Aja. Okay, so let's just clear that right there. It predates that. I didn't get in this because it was convenient. I was already in the path of fighting for, against domestic violence, family violence, systemic violence, abuse, the whole gamut. It's just ironic that it hit me at my door.
Right.
So I think God said, okay, well, you're such an advocate. Let me see you practice what you preach. So Aja was here. I think she arrived in December, and actually January, was it, Mom? January, 2010. She was suffering from depression, and she was just having issues with adjustment. That's it. She was a theater major, and the reason why I selected Nevada Community College is because I don't know if you're aware, but it has a theater college. Most of you are aware of Nevada Community College. It's in Corsicana, Texas. It's right in Corsicana. Well, it is basically a black college, even though it's in a white town. It's a small community college, and you can live on campus. So she was complaining about the community there, and I just kept saying, just hang in there, hang in there, hang in there. She was being bullied by her roommate. She was kind of out of sync with, she was a geek. She was a chess master, theater major. She didn't fit in with everybody. Our kids suffer also if they're out of sync. So she was just out of sync with the normal flow of things. And one night, on March the 3rd, her roommate had been bullying her. It culminated to this event that happened on March the 3rd where the kids got intoxicated. Aja did have a drinking problem. It's documented, but she never had a drug problem. That's documented. Even the Texas Rangers documented that. But anyway, on this particular evening, she had a small bag of cocaine on her. The police came in, they found it. The roommate called her. They escorted her to the ER because she was acting out of character. They came back the next day and they had a warrant for her arrest. She was calling me to come get her. I told her I was on my way. She didn't sound right. I called the counseling center. I told them to check in on her. This was around 2 o'clock, actually around 1:30. Counseling center told me that the police were there to get her. I said, let me know what's going on. I spoke with the officer. I told the officer she is a very fragile young lady. We've got to watch her. We've got to monitor her. I've worked in a facility of incarceration. I know the proper protocol is. I'm on my way. They assured me they would. They took her into custody. This was done the day before. They got her through the holding, through the search and seizure process. They had her in the holding cell. I called them back to check on her. They told me that she was in the hospital. This was around 3 o'clock. I called them back. I was about maybe 40 minutes from there, just to check on her, and they told me she was dead. So this happened really, really fast. They took her in. She went into the holding cell. If you watch it on tape, it's Justice for Aja, FORAHJAH. Look for her Facebook page. You will see it on tape. She basically ingested. She had cocaine in her bra. She ingested cocaine in their holding cell. Once she had enough of it or whatever, she went into cardiac arrest. She banged on the door. They took forever to come and get her. You see them escorting her down the hall. It's all on tape. When she gets to the end of the hall, the tape goes blank, and you don't see anything else. What we have found out, what happened on the other side of the tape, which they did not tell us, is they came out to the yard. They didn't tell us. When they got into the yard, after they started pounding on her, beating on her, she dropped dead right there. They blocked us from identifying her body. They told the local, they then made a phone call. Officer Michael Pickett was he's a key player here. He made a phone call to the judge and told the judge that Aja had no family, that they had to send her, that he had to identify her because she had no family. He ran out to Dallas Corner. He identified her. They blocked us from seeing her. He identified her. They shipped her off to a local funeral home that they selected. We had to fight to get her back. When we picked up the phone to go and identify her, they told her that she was gone. She had already been identified. And that she was on her way to this funeral home. In Corsicana, Texas, mind you. Back to Corsicana. So we got an injunction. We got her body back. Her body was riddled with bruises from head to toe. They literally beat the hell. She had a busted lip. She had bruises on her breast. She had bruises on her thighs. She had bruises on her legs. She had bruises on her shoulders. They beat the hell. We have not been able. The reason why we're having this event today is because since 2010, we have not been sleeping We have been fighting. We have not been able to get one attorney to take this case. Not one. Not one. Not one. Not nowhere. North, south, east, or west. Nowhere. Nowhere. So what I did was I took the case as a pro se litigant, and I told the statute of limitation on the case. The case should have never been filed in local court. It should have been filed in federal court.
That's right.
However, the statute of limitation was told. Nevertheless, they had dismissed the case without prejudice, which means that we can come back and fight, but it's going to be a fight. Okay, so what we have found out since then, let's move away from Aja because this is so much bigger than Aja. What we have found out since then, since 2010, is that there have been 4 deaths in that jail, in that particular jail, that we know of. So there's many, many more that we do not know of. And all of these individuals died from blunt force trauma. They were all in their early 20s, all African American, one Hispanic, all beaten to death by the police. Every last one of them. Every last one of them. There have been protest marches and demonstrations in Corsicana, Texas, on the steps of the courthouse before. So this behavior is not new to them. There's also a girls' home there that we found out about that has been under the surveillance of the police. Whenever these girls try to run away, and most of these girls are African American, they are raped and sodomized by the police and then sent back to that girl's home. So there is so much work to do in Corsicana. By the way, Corsicana, Texas, this is the thing that frustrates me the most about Corsicana, Texas. Apart from my daughter, is that Corsicana, Texas is an entity. It is an incorporated town. So y'all know what that means, right? It doesn't answer to anybody. It answers to, do you know who it answers to? It answers to the DA. The DA. Okay? And you know, anything that you're going to do in Corsicana, you're going to have a raid. Who do you go to? Guess who? You go to the sheriff. You go to the sheriff to get a permit. You go to the DA to get permission to have a parade downtown. You go to the DA to get permission to, well, you don't need permission to, for this capital. But it does not answer to anyone. It doesn't even answer to the Attorney General in Austin. I called up there. I know what I'm talking about. His secretary told me, we don't govern them. We have no jurisdiction over them. They are a private entity unto themselves. They are an incorporated town. That means you're not going to do a daggone thing to them, regardless of what they do to you. So you know, it's Corsicana, Jasper, Tyler, whatever. I'm not from Texas, but I've come to know who these towns are.
So it's not part of it?
So, no, it's not part, no, it's not. There's no ethics committee like Dallas. There's no nothing. So, if we want to take down, because I'm going to tell y'all something. I am a therapist. Okay, that's what I am. I've got like so many, I'm not going to tell you whatever. I know patterns. They are going to kill again. Okay? Let's just get that straight.
Yeah.
Okay, Aja was the only difference between Aja and the other difference. She was the first female that was killed. Okay, so that means that she has set a trend. I guarantee you, if something isn't done, the next person will be a female, and she'll be a black female. Okay? We believe that, and I'm going to close here. We believe that Aja was basically set up. We do. There's no way. I've worked in a facility of incarceration. I worked in it for 7 years. There's no way you can get through any holding cell with anything on you. It's just not. It's not impossible. So the fact that they did not, and I have to say this, because I'm not giving you a like that. The campus police, the so-called peace officers, that's what they're called. They're real police officers. This prison, school's prison pipeline that Brother Cyrus talked about, is right there on that campus. The real police, the sheriff's office, all these little boys, they man that campus. That's who they are. That's who they are. Okay? So we know what they're going to do to these kids. And Aja's story is not unique. She's the only person that died, but other kids on that college campus are constantly being harassed. They go to the college and they wind up with a record in prison. And that's what they were planning to do with Aja. So, it's so much bigger than her and broader than her and so much more important than just her. And my thing is, parents don't know and they have to know. They have to know. They have to know. Because it is a ticking time bomb. And it cares nothing for the life that it is. So, With that being said, I just want to give you some information. I've gone through the story 1,000 times, but I just had to give you that information. I want you to do me a favor, and if you don't do it for me, do it for our children. If you have a child, a niece, a nephew, whomever, what I want you to do is I want you to go online, and I want you to read her Facebook page or her website or whatever, the detailed information, and then I want you to email us with suggestions on ways that you can get involved with this campaign to raise awareness. Because I believe that awareness is key. Okay? That's what I believe. I believe knowledge is power. Okay? That's just it. Education. That's what I believe. That if we just spread the word and educate the public and friends and family members to what's really happening with our children, this is a conspiracy, as Brother Cyrus indicated. This is not Aja didn't die by happenstance. This is planned and contrived and everything else. This is deliberate, folks. Okay?
And they said the cause of what?
Excuse me.
The cause of death. They said.
The cause of death, of course, they're going to say, well, they told us when we went in, my mother and I went down there, they told us that Aja dropped dead of a heart attack, cardiac arrest. That's what they told us. You know, that's what they told us. They then what they did, they had her roommate, they arrested her roommate and had her roommate swear that she saw Aja ingested cocaine before she was arrested. And then they let her go. They amended her death certificate.
Tell us what the roommate did. See, we need to know why the roommate said what she said, to whom she said it to.
Yeah, the roommate basically pointed Aja in the direction of the drugs. The roommate had drugs on her. Aja didn't know anything about it. Aja didn't know nothing. She was just so naive to the facts of life. And the roommate wanted to get rid of her to bring someone else into the door. So this is the other thing that I want to say that I have to say. You see, it's not just what the system does. It's not just systemic violence. Okay, that we're dealing with. We're dealing with family, familiar, intergenerational violence that we exhibit upon each other as a people. Okay? Okay, Aja's roommate looked just like her. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. And then 6 weeks before Aja actually got into that space of depression, her father verbally abused her, prolifically to the point where she broke down. So the other message that I want to give to parents is we have to love our children. I cannot stress that enough. You have your children with you, you can see them physically, you can hear them speak, you can embrace them, you're blessed. Okay? My daughter's gone. I can't see her, I can't talk to her, I can't hear her voice. And it's about love. It's about love. We have to. And it's that love, it's that ethic of love that we first encounter within the framework of our family systems that then propels us toward, the place where we deal with it in terms of the institutional piece. So, if we don't have it at home first, we can't demand it in the community. Right. We just can't. We just can't. And this is why they do to us what they do to us, because they know that we're not going to come together and unite around the theme of preservation. Our children of African descent. They know that. They know that. The reason why they were so bold and brazen to say she has no family is because in their mind she has no family. She has no family. And family means not just the mother, but a community. A community to come together and fight for her. So that's what they meant by the family. That's what they meant by that. This poor little black girl has nobody who's going to come to her defense. We can even cremate her, send her wherever, whatever. Nothing will be done. So that's what we have to change. Because individuals don't have power, groups have power. Just like Brother Cyrus talking. Groups have power.
That's right.
And collectively, we can't wait till a tragedy happens. And that's what I wrote on my letter. That we wait till a tragedy happens to run to the Black Panther Party. Or let me find the Romaine friend. Let me find where's Sister Quayte. Let me get with some my grassroots folks. We shouldn't have to wait until a tragedy happens before we become proactive about our own preservation. That has to happen right now, right here and right now. Where we unify, and I say that unification comes along with the theme of love. It's just that simple. I don't have to like you to love you. I love you because I'm a part of you. We are connected, interconnected in terms of being a part of the human family. We are children of African descent, and so therefore I love you. I love you, because you're you. Period. So I'm gonna go. That's down to all that.
If you notice, there are documents on the table that they're very necessary for you to have. There's also a petition that we want to ask you to sign as well. So before you depart today, can you make it a point to pick up the literature and sign a petition for us? At this time, I can bring Laura on our stage. She's very dynamic in spirit, so I don't know what she's gonna do, but she's gonna come and do something for us, and I'm sure that it's something that we can utilize and keep close to us because it's what she do. She's a servant of the people, and we appreciate her being here in the spirit of Aja, in the spirit of justice, and in the spirit of everything that's good for us. So, Sister Ibora,
King, hotel, namaste, greetings, I love you, Africa. I am Deborah Oya Ashe, and I'm, like she said, a member of the Real Mainframe, and I think I'm gonna leave with that introduction for the chair. But pretty much, I'm getting up here as, how would we say, an artist of the struggle, of the revolution that is happening now. Aja was also, I keep hearing, which lights me up inside, that I'm reminding them about Aja, and I could just only wish to be as great as she was in the acting scene, which I'm very new to. But I won't be doing that today because I had some stuff on the phone. That's what we get for trusting the new school internet because we do not connect. So, I will be doing my own work, if that's all right with y'all. It's one that's actually very true to why we are here today. It's called Why. And again, we're here because we as a people are very, as one of us said, the camera and spoke, are very complacent and very okay with the battle and the war that has been waged on us as people, on our other family members. And so one thing that I do when I write is sometimes you can't really just say stuff right in the moment, but then as soon as that moment is over, it resonates in your spirit and it's like, this is what I should have said. But you know what? That's the beautiful gift of art because you can write it down and the time is always important, right? So I'm just going to try to do a little bit of what this verse is called Why. Oh, why, must you listen to them when they're doing their thing? Oh, why, they only feed it to your mental so you'll never be free. Ooh, why, be free. African. Why can't we see what our elders see? Why can't we be what our ancestors be? Achieve what our history has achieved. Betty and Coretta have already breathed over the powers that bees misdeed. Why must they grieve again over our complacentness? They say we live in distress with no value. Some of us value life, others value money. Cash is just a tool, don't be a fool, honey. And when we start to fall into that trap, like a dummy, they say, oh, why, must we listen to them when they're doing their thing? Oh, why, they only feed it to your mental so you'll never be free. Oh, why, be free. never be equal. And why would you want to be? With royalty. What would Malcolm and Martin do? They sometimes seemed opposite, but were the same. Alive in the fight, so sad their lives took flight so soon. But no need to gloom. Their seeds often bloom new revolutions, new solutions to this struggle. They still live through the fruit of the looms, fruits from our wombs. We can do anything. What you seek is inside. We must have pride in being great. We are not a mistake. These stakes are high, but some of us are on cruise control. It makes me nervous of what the future holds. And I say, oh, why must we listen to them when they're doing their thing? Oh, why, they only feed it to your mental so you'll never be free. Oh, why, be free, African. Unless we stand up and be bold, the other shit is getting old. We worth more than gold. Look how far we've come, but we still lack all the wisdom. Because we've fallen for the same tricks. Self-mutilization by way of getting pricked and primed. Not loving ourselves is the crime. Prime candidate for a lifetime of disadvantages at the hand of self. Flawed as this world is and flawed as we are stars in our story. Glory be to the Most High. I say, when they're doing their thing, we have to feed into our mental that we are free. We are Africans. I despise denial. We allow them to defile our history. Unless we stand up and be bold, Marcus Garvey told me, a people without knowledge of the history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. And I say a tree without roots will wither and die. So please don't ask me why we should take a stand. He also said intelligence rules the world. Ignorance carries the burden. You heard him? Yeah. I'm not the one to point the finger because I'm not a saint, but blind I ain't. We gotta get our shit together. Because if birds of a feather flock together, let's soar. Who said that black folks gotta be poor? Everything in life ends with a choice. Don't lose your voice to speak out. Hell, scream and shout if that's gonna help you see. Our future is now. I bow to you for all you do. My sisters, my brothers, my mothers. Let's love one another. Uplift each other. Why? Ask why. Oh, why must we listen to them when they're doing that thing? Oh, why they only feed it to your mental so you'll never be free. Oh, why be free, African. So again, we remember why we are here, which is for the organization, the National Coalition and Partnership with MAG, Mothers Against Youth Genocide. So we obviously know that this is something that we're doing. Nobody is helping us. Of course they will not help us. That would be against the whole nation, right? So one thing we have to do, we love our energy, we have to give our energy, we have to give our time, but one thing we always want to be, because we just live in the USA, the United States of America. So therefore we do need to fund this fight. And so I do ask that we pass this around, and whatever you can give, I don't care what it is. If the jingle, I don't care what it is, it's still money. Okay? But if you don't have anything, I would love if you would still put your energy and send it along with the funds, because it still will become more plentiful with your energy. Ashe? Ashe. And then you start it out. And I can't pass it around. Again.
But I can't say
When we were yeah, it does. And he's already judging for big person told him attorney, and he's already taking their side.
Family, listen to me. Listen to my voice.
This is a gathering of families. You know that it's a very intimate setting. A lot of work went into us being here today. You know, a lot of effort. And one of those efforts is on behalf of our host who invited us to this place. That's Juanita Wallace. She's the president of the NAACP Dallas chapter. So we must make mention and give her a chance to say something and let her know, most importantly, how much we appreciate her.
I appreciate the opportunity to get a chance to say something because I wanted to sort of set a little record straight. Ms. Ishmael Robinson, when her daughter wife was taken at Corsicana Jail, the NAACP here in Dallas stepped out. As a matter of fact, we were the very first people to hold a press conference. Now, guess what? When you hold a press conference and you send out the press release and you ask people to come, you can't make them come. We had one company, news reporter to show up. We had people there. We had one news reporter. So the bottom line is, I want to go back to what this young lady said. We have to learn how to pour our resources into our communities, into ourselves. Because if we owned our own newspaper, and if we owned our own television station, and if we owned our own whatever, we wouldn't have to go through that. So the bottom line is we've got to do everything we possibly can. Now the NAACP, I've been the president for 6 years. And I've been stepping out on a lot of issues that make a lot of people very uncomfortable. But I am not one of those people that will wither under any. We did a show last week on YouTube, and I want you to visit that. And a lot of people, when I told them what I was going to do, said, "Are you sure you want to do that?" Well, my answer to them is, "Hell yes, I want to do that." We've got to continue to bring the awareness of what's going on. This woman has suffered nothing, as is other people. But the bottom line is she came to me, and when she came to me, I felt her pain. So I said, we're going to do a YouTube, and we did the YouTube show, and it's going to be out. The Juanita Wallace YouTube show, and she will be featured on there telling a story about the murder, the murdering of her daughter, because that's what it is. Cold blood murder. That's what it is. But I don't want her to feel badly about it. I want her to understand that through all of that, something good is going to come out of it. Other people will be aware. We've got to love each other. And we've got to take care of each other. The 18th century is when all of this started. After people brought over here without our culture, without our language, without our food, and we were told to emulate a foreign group of people. And in that emulation, we ended up in this place where we are now. But we still know how to love. Because if we lose that one character trait, then we're goners. So we've got to learn how to love each other. You may not like my attitude, you may not like my behavior, you may not even like what I look like. But you have to love me. That's right. I am a true queen from Africa. That's right. Understand that. I make no words about it. That's right. I know who I am, and you cannot define me. And don't you let anybody else define you. That's right. Okay. You be who you are. You work and you love and you take care of each other. Bottom line is, have a good day.
That's what you're looking for.
I made mention of the statistics on the table, and it looks like everyone pretty much signed it. Is that correct?
No.
Okay, if you haven't, can you please sign the petition? I mean, you can't force you to, but if you're in unity with the work that's being done here, that'll be good. Also, it's my hope that the information that is on there is accurate, more so than just not for it being just for the petition, but we want to maintain contact and build relationships with you. So we will utilize this list to update you on what we're working on and where we need you. Also, in regards to that, we do need you. I want you to feel free at this moment to go around and people can let us know who they are. You don't have to, but if there's anything that you do in the community, if you want to be passed by, that's fine. Just say your name, hi. But we want to be able to identify with people who can be utilizing these processes that can assist with others against genocide. Maybe you have a specific skill or trade, or maybe you have a office printing company where you can make a lot of copies of stuff. Let us know that.
Or you got a job where you don't care and you can use your resources and you can do extra print copies.
So I would like to start with someone in the room, but he's not in the room yes, you heard me say that.
Oh.
No, it's here.
Charlie Brown.
Well, we'll start with Miss Cora. We'll start with Miss Cora. And Miss Cora is going to share with us who she is and why she's here.
Hello, everybody. I'm Cora Kennedy, and this is Piedmont Bowling, my son. He was murdered in 2009. I was told later on that he suffered in the Dallas police custody. But the police report was that when they got there, that he was dead. But my son died at Baylor Hospital. So I'm not convinced of the story that they told me. I heard so many stories. So many people shot him. He was being stabbed while he laid there. So it was a lot going on that haven't been told to me. They didn't come to my house to tell me that my son was dead. It was a whole week went by and I didn't hear from anybody. But that's why I'm standing here today. This mother here, my heart went out to you last week, and we do need to stick together because these things go on. It is a genocide without children. My son was an A student, but the genocide that came into the community, it disrupted where we grew up. Now it's quiet because I call all the time and ask them, when are you all going to tear that place down where my son was killed? It's still there. And no one lives there. It was sad how these people, the owners of the place, how they let this go on. And the city of Dallas, I talk to them all the time, when are you all going to do something about that place? We're working on it, it takes money. But I'm going to sit down and I'm not going to be long. I'm tired of lies. And I'm not going to stop fighting for justice for my baby. I want justice. And the fellow that they gave 50 years to, I don't know where his story came from, but I have papers that he's innocent. So I don't know if he's innocent or not, but he did take the fall for this murder. And the prosecutors were horrible. They were liars, and I heard them lie. And the judge was turned this way. It was horrible.
But I felt like Harriet Tubman. I said, well, I'm going to sit here. While you all are lying, I'm going to sit here. And it's going to come back. And they told me, it's going to come back. Oh, yeah. It's going to come back. You know, I might not ever, and I hear it all the time, some moms never get justice. But if I don't get justice, which I'm asking God to give me justice, I want some mothers to get some justice in the city of Dallas. I'm being told that a lot of mothers for years have not got justice. So that's what we need. And family is very important. I'm working on my family. When he died, we were already, you know, this far apart, and we just it just got that much further apart. But I told my family, I'm not going to stand for this family violence anymore. I'm not going to stand for us arguing anymore. It's got to stop. Family's got to come together. So I love everybody. Thank you for letting me stand. And Mom, we're going to fight.
That's right.
That's right.
Greetings. First of all, I just wanted to get permission of my elders to be able to speak.
Sure. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. So
It was very fitting to have this mother come and talk about an issue that kind of set the tone for me, what I'm going to speak about, and that's the issue of police brutality. This city of Dallas, Texas, one of the largest cities in the United States of America, has a real problem. The problem is essentially, we have a district attorney, we have a police chief, we have officers in our community. All of them are in cahoots with creating this problem. District Attorney Craig Watkins, on his website, if you go to it, interesting that you said that. He has a 98.4% conviction rate. But as it relates to convicting police officers and officer-involved shootings, there's a 0%. How do I know this? I'm not just spewing rhetoric to you. I'm not just talking out the side of my mouth. What I'm talking about is actual records requests that we've gotten that was given to us by them. What the records requests show, and what the report came out last week, is that their training is null. That many of their officers can't shoot, can't operate as an officer in our community, and is very much so outside the line of the duty. So, what we need to do, ladies and gentlemen, we have a problem. We have to be able to apply some solutions. I suggest that each and every one of us support these mothers. We have to do it. They're doing it in other cities. In the state of California, they just had a very large demonstration where they were organized, well-organized families. We have to be able to emulate that here. We have to get these families together. Not only here in Dallas, Texas, but in Houston, Texas. Okay. Not only in Houston, but they just had a shooting in San Antonio. So all of this is interconnected. When I define it clearly that the issue of police brutality is an epidemic, is similar to our health issues that we have in our community. Because these officers can shoot us like they shot James Harper in Dixon Circle. They can shoot us in our back and pretty much get out. The grand jury is hands are tied behind their back because we have district attorneys and elected officials. I think somebody said judges. We have people in the community that don't care.
That's right.
They don't care. They don't care. So the suggestion is, and which you guys already know the solution, I think I'm talking to the choir here, we got to hold these people accountable. And the best way, the first step to do is get behind this mother, that mother, support the community organization, support the NAACP, support the New Black Panther Party, support each other. Let's support each other. Because only through that can we hold these people accountable. Only through that. So I just leave you with that, and I say, let's work together, let's strive to work harder, and let's bring about justice to our community. Right on.
Octavia is here. Octavia Logan is here. I know she got some information to share with us about the work that she does in the community. Yes, is that correct?
Well, it's probably nothing that y'all don't already know.
Well, everybody don't know, I'm sure. Because I met some new people. I met some new people today. So can you show us what you got going on and how we can be of service to you and your efforts in the community?
My name is Octavia.
I'm
not good at speaking in public. My name is Octavia Logan. I'm the affiliate coordinator for Move to Amend for Dallas, Texas. What I do is educate people on corporate corruption and how the corporations have contracts with our state with our prisons, or how our state has contracts with prisons to keep a 95% capacity of the prisons.
Yes.
And some of our officials they are involved through a group called Alex, who writes the bills.
You better know.
And if you don't know who Alex is the American Legislative Exchange Council. And what they do is they are an association, just like we have associations, but it's an association between our elected officials, that people we vote for and put in office, and corporations. 2,200 corporations to be exact. And they're going to be meeting here in July in Dallas.
Anatole.
At the Anatole, yes. On my birthday. They're meeting here on my birthday. How but that's what we're up against. The reason that mothers don't get justice is because the people we have elected and voted into these offices are already on the payroll of somebody else. And they're corporations. You're not going to get justice until you get those people out of office and get people who will do what you're paying them to do, because essentially we're the ones who pay them. You know, we are the ones who are supposed to pay them first, although the corporations pay them more. And so that's what I do. I try to educate people on voting, because a black women vote the most out of anyone in this state. We vote more than any race in the state. We vote wrong. We vote along Democratic Party lines all the time, or names that look black, or any other reason other than that person's actually going to help me. We even vote for people because, I went to school with him. I know him. He's been in the community, but he hasn't done anything for the community. And that's what keeps us where we are. And that's why we don't get justice. That's why our streets don't get paid. That's why we can't get business loans from Accession, who has the money to give small business loans to minorities, and only give 17% to black people. Any black business, and that's like 2 businesses. And that makes no sense. And we keep these people in office. That's what I try to do. I try to educate people that we need to change our way of thinking so that we can get different results. Because what we're doing now is not working. I also have a community garden over in South Dallas. 2331 Custard Avenue, South Dallas.
And don't y'all need some help?
We always need volunteers. Believe me, I started gardening because my grandmother taught me how, and then I was reading about it in books, and it seemed easy.
Right.
When you're out there and you're working, it ain't easy. So we need all that we can. We're Unity Community Gardens, and you can find us on the Facebook or, pretty much Facebook. Thank you. I
just want to say one thing, like the lady that just spoke, she said that, the key to an early service, keep
keeping the same people in office, just because the Democrats are black. But just recently, last year I had an experience. 3 times I went to a judge, to file a motion. It was called a habeas corpus, and she kind of fought against me, and we had some disagreements. The last time I sat in her court and I left, she told me that no, she kind of ordered me out of her court, but I stood her up. She sent her bailiff to arrest me, take me out, and I stood her up. I told her, to just lay off your hands off me. I knew my rights and stuff like that. But the reason why I'm saying is because this judge I was working at the primary elections, election day in March, and I saw this woman come up with a big poster, and it said, Susan Hawk, Dallas Morning News supports her. Well, this judge, she was always Republican, but she just turned, she was always a Democrat, and she's just turned Republican to run against Greg Watkins. And I mean, I told her mother, I said, when I saw the woman with this poster, I said, that judge, I said, that woman is corrupt. She is, and I know. And and then all this, she said, that's my daughter. I said, ma'am, that's not the point. That's not the point. She is corrupt. She is. So, she got mad at me and stuff like that. But the point what I'm trying to say that she is running, because I don't like 90% of the things that Craig Watkins is doing. I've gone personally to talk to make it, he's never answered. I even sent him a certified letter. And he's never answered, and I spoke twice recently to his campaign director, stuff like that. But here we have a problem because, yes, we need to get, look like the young lady said, we should have had more people running against Frank Watkins' time, but there was nobody, no Democrat, the only one is Susan Hawk was so wicked. So we have a problem coming up in November elections here in Dallas. Because you let Susan Hawk get in. She's a monster. She is. I told her, yeah. As a matter of fact, I'm ready to file a title. Let me tell you just quick. Just when I went home to court for bailiffs, because I stood her up, I asked her a few questions, and I left her court, and then I was sitting outside, and a few people were telling me their stories. And the bailiffs came to me and told me, the judge sent me to search you. I said, so I went ahead and the search. So after the search, I went back in. She said, what are you doing back in my court? I said, Judge, you just sent your bailiffs and they conducted a search without a warrant. And I need a legal search, and I need to have your name so I can take appropriate action. I'm planning to take appropriate action, which I haven't had because I've had so many problems with police. Last year I filed one lawsuit against the police in Cedar Hill, the police force in Cedar Hill. And anyways, so bottom line is, this woman is I argued with her. I had my facts there that habeas corpus, she paid no attention to it. And, she said, anyways, she's no good. So we have a big problem coming up that's in Dallas. Because if this continues, we're going to see they just built a new part of the jail there. And everybody's telling me, yes, it's all money. Because 3.5 years ago, I was arrested in Grand Prairie, put in jail, and first he arrested her, then he arrested me, and they took us to Grand Prairie jail. You were put in the cell, and we both danced out, hallelujah, praise the Lord, an hour. So, we prayed like we prayed, and they took her out, right? The same police men arrested us through the windows, and they were peeking through. And they said, anyways, after an hour, we just kept praying, and we could hear the noise. So anyways, they moved her to downtown jail, they left me there. And for 3 days, I had no water, nothing to eat, right? And I know God had to give me answer because I prayed day and night. Because when the women came out, the women said that, asked me if they could move the crazy woman. Anyways, but when I asked them why they never gave me food and water, they said because I prayed. I said, I never knew that until now. I said, that was a crime. The praise, So, they kept me for 5 days in Grand Prairie. They wanted me to pay $5,000, I don't know what, and then they sent me down to Dallas. And after like 6 days in Dallas, after the first day in Dallas, they told me if I paid $50, I told them I did nothing, I'm not a criminal, I did nothing wrong, and $50 is like $50 million. If you're not going to support the system, that's just the So anyways, the last day they came to take me to court, they took me in a room and there was this white attorney, he said sign the papers, I said sign them all. I said, no, he said, no, you can't read, you just got to go before judge and go before the judge. I said, no, I have to read it. When I read it, it says you're guilty. I said, sir, I'm not guilty. Then why would I sign this? He says, well, if you don't sign this, you'll be in here for the next 12 or 13 months. I said, okay, I'm going to sign it. You should have signed it. So I signed it. But so when I read it before the judge, he says guilty. I said, not guilty. This man standing here told me that if I didn't sign guilty, I would still be in here. That's why. But I'm not guilty, judge. She smiled and she said, well. So this is how the system works.
Corruption. We come in all different forms, sizes, shapes, and everything, And this lady is a threat to certain people in society. Just having that experience. I don't know why you went, but the fact that I can tell you're adamant about what you're saying. And in conjunction with what you said about this particular judge. Yes. So I have every bit in my essence, in my heart, to believe what you're saying and your conviction behind it. And just being able to be verbal about it and express it, we appreciate that because we need to know each other's experiences and how we relate to one another. They may be different stories in different forms, but in essence, injustice is injustice. And I'm saying to be whatever form if you go in hallelujah, praise the Lord, and this is the technique you use to make yourself verbally known that however this is what you need to say, hey, I ain't cool with this or whatever. You're not supposed to be comfortable with it. Ain't nobody supposed to be comfortable but it's necessary for us to understand that, to understand different people's experiences and so forth. But thank you for sharing that with us. And we now know who Susan Hall is. So at least with that, we can kind of move in a particular way. But I do want to bring your attention to our website, www.mothersagainstyougenocide.nationbuilders.com. And there is a direct link to us, and we need for you to be a part of that website. We need for you to promote this website. Because as I mentioned earlier on, Mothers Against Youth Genocide is not just saying, hey, let's find a way for them to just start killing our kids. It is that. But we're saying, hey, let's create a certain type of quality of life for us. You know what I'm saying? We got things to do. They not our only agenda. We are our agenda, as you mentioned. And you mentioned too about the love thing. Yeah. So we need to be able to visit that website and understand it thoroughly. Anything that we feel passionate about, we need to understand and know it thoroughly. We're gonna put action into it. So it's a request of us if you can take the time to go to that website and try to comprehend it. And if you cannot fully or have any other questions, we are here to assist you because we need you again. So that's www.mothersagainstyouthgenocide.nationbuilders.com. And I met Sonny a couple of days ago. Eating some chicken. You can see people that all like to walk the life, right? So he had just eaten chicken, here Brother Troy, and I had come to get some chicken. And then we met. And so that means we had chicken again. But I would love for him to share with y'all what he does.
Well, family. First of all, I'd like to give my condolences to the mothers who lost their children. My heart is with you. And I'd like to thank all the people who came here to support this movement because that is something that is missing, not just here, but all over the world, where people have been taught to think that only their personal interest matters. And as long as it doesn't affect them, then it's okay.
That's it. That's what you think.
And that we can see that all the way into the interpersonal relationships with men and women. My personal interest matters, and that's where everybody is coming apart. I also like to say, sister who was mentioning the fact that we have been under cultural sabotage for a very long time. My father, he was in Wingate, and wearing on my shirt. Ever since I was a little child, taught me that lesson.
That's it.
Of who I am and what I must do. Because it's not even an option on what we need to do. We approach our problems like it's like we have a choice. Should we fix it or something like that? You don't have an option. You don't fix it. Everybody's out here. That's the bottom line. So with that, I'm very fluent in many different histories. Studied law for 5 years. And I understand this struggle because he made it part of my life. I recently lost him last year. And just like the sister said, except I wasn't fighting an entity like she was trying to get the body back. I was fighting my own brother to get the body back because I was raised with traditional African values, but my little brother was taken away. When he came back to my father's life, he wanted to be cool dad and not discipline and teach him the traditions. And so there was conflict there. So I really do empathize and sympathize with what you had to go through. And you really can't put it into words what it's actually caused. But there's also things that you must do since she has made her transition. And I can perhaps talk to both of you that it's at the core and the center of our culture. That, in our culture, we take the whole dynamic of the human, which means we take the material aspect of the human, and we take the non-material aspect of the human. You would not believe how much of your life is in the non-material reality. You have no clue just how much work it is to take care of a person who no longer inhabits matter. We have no idea. This is a reality that was cut off from us. And I can help with that as we begin to know each other, begin to connect. Also, I am an illustrator, and I do commercial art, mainly in portraits, murals, t-shirts. I have a couple samples of my work. Share with you guys. So here's my wife. Just stands up and help me show these pieces. This is not to get off subject here. These are just pieces that I've done the past couple of years. This is my youngest daughter.
Oh my God. Look at that.
On canvas. Yes, on canvas.
It's airbrush, right?
Airbrush on canvas.
Airbrush, that's right.
That's strictly airbrush. That's how good it is. 20 years of work. Professional like that. You were right there.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Look, I did that like. That's what it is. So it's not flush, most cameras sticking out like an extra inch. So
I'll be better to provide them. my portion out. I didn't bring any cards. We're really trying to find another location for our business. It's located at the Redbird Mall. But life happens, tragedy, finances, all that. Trials coming up. We're recover from that. Hopefully, find us another home for our business. And issues. You can provide the number, or you can say Sister Bruce.
Thank you. Okay.
I'm Sierra, I'm actually from Michigan, I just moved down a couple years ago. Yeah, I do run a t-shirt apparel company, Respect the Queen, but I'm not good for that, so I want to go into if anybody wanted to see me afterwards, that would be fine. I came today to support the mothers and also make y'all aware of another story that's going on that most people are familiar with. Leon Ford is from Pittsburgh. In 2012, he was pulled over by the Pittsburgh police. He provided all of the proper information to show that he was Leon Ford. But the Pittsburgh police were convinced that he was Lamont Ford, and Lamont Ford had a record. They didn't search their database for Leon Ford or Lamont Ford. They searched for L Ford. When that record came back, Lamont Ford had a warrant for the record. They did not run his license plate neither. They were convinced that he was Lamont Ford and he was going to go to jail that day. A third officer came on the scene, Officer Bursch, who was familiar with Lamont Ford but could not identify that Leon was not Lamont Ford. Long story short, Leon was shot 5 times and left prison. Yes. He's now facing 20 years in prison for reckless conduct, failure to yield, and aggravated assault. What we decided to do, the organization that I work with, is to put our ideologies to the side, to put our differences to the side, and come together and unite organizations, grassroots organizations all over the United States. Instead of continuously having small ones, we need to unite with each other and work. That's it. And work. I mean, there's so much work to do. So what we decided to do was have a mass rally during Leon's next rally. And fortunately, we've been able to get Dallas, which I'm coordinating here, on May 3rd at the JFK Memorial at 2 o'clock here. There's also one in Houston at the Shape Center. We have one in California, San Francisco. We have Atlanta. We have Philadelphia. We have Pittsburgh. We have the United Kingdom. You know, Black people deal with issues all over. It's not just here. In Dallas. We need to support each other. I don't know Leon personally. I met Leon 6 months ago online, but Leon could have been my son. Leon could have been me. He fit the description. A black man wearing a white shirt. You know, so I feel like that, you know, whatever we can do, pause and right answers, unity and social empowerment, however we can connect and link with you to support yours, your daughter, your son, we're willing. We don't have those issues of it has to be, you know, set up a certain way, or you have to belong to a certain religion, or you have to be New Black Panther, or end up, we don't have those issues. You know, we all come from different walks of life, but we all suffer with the same issues. So I would love for y'all to come out and support. I've got some petition flyers as well. I would love to pass out your petition flyers. We have some rally flyers. If y'all can come and help out, we would really appreciate it.
What's your name?
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Is there anybody else? I know Ebony is going to come up pretty soon here. But does anybody else have anything that they wanted to share with us before Ebony comes up?
I would say it's my honor to be here, respectfully. My heart goes out to all the mothers once again, and because to the sister over here, I mean, words can't even express. I mean, my condolences. I mean, you know, words can't express. I'm not you, but I can definitely I'm an animated cartoonist, so I'm not even work here, but you see his work, right? So he's going to airbrush some of my characters. That's over to get into daycare and all work. I created a program that's second to none. It's educational, but it's funny. The characters are much different than the other character you've seen before. So, yeah, children, grandkids, but it's just not for just children. It's just grandkids. I guarantee you, adults, just like the word Mickey Mouse, it's much different. So, just if you want to, I'm gonna have a website soon, things like that. But I'm starting to get down, and it would have been out a while ago. I lost my wife in 2009 in cancer, so that's just, So I can't. I mean, you don't understand, but when I think this brother right here for the culture and what I am now is I understand how to take care of those who have gone on. That's going to be interesting for you. There are things we were cut off from, we don't have a clue. And, it seems foreign because we don't know. Very thankful for these lives. Me and him, and Dreamin', we all met him right there.
Chicken lady.
Yeah. So I just want to say thanks, but we were close together. It's my spiritual brother, brother all around. But anyway, these cartoons is going to be dynamic for anybody. I mean, they can touch everybody, all walks of life. It's a purpose and a reason why these characters are here, and you'll understand the concept. It's very simple. Okay. Thank you.
I just want to say something before everybody comes, because everybody's going to close us out. I asked everybody to come because, as I mentioned, this entire loss piece is a journey. And I shared with Dr. Wallace that when I arrived from back east to come back and fight, my mother didn't recognize me when she opened the door. Because I had gained through this journey about 60 pounds. Since I've been here doing the work, I've lost about 40. So, and I'm still big. This is not my true size, but that's what the grief does to us. So there's so many tears in this process, in this genocidal attack on us, and which is by design. And basically, it's simply this: I'm going to get rid of you. Period. And we know this as descendants of Africans through the Middle West, process. How did they attack the black woman? They ripped out her child. Okay, we know this, right? They ripped out her child. They got kicked out of that. Seeing her reaction when the child was ripped from her womb. So this is all by design. And so what happens then is we shut down. So they can't get us one way, they're going to get us another way. Our children, us, our husbands, our family, everybody goes. So we have to be in healing mode, mothers, sisters, brothers, family members, significant others. We have to be in healing mode because we will follow, and we have to stay the fight. So I brought Ebony here, and I asked Ebony to help us with this, because I know experience is critical. It's critical, and also denying us our right to fight is another way to kill us. So we have to come together, because what I want to just say, I love you all, you're my family, I don't have to know you personally, for years and years and years to love you. Dr. Wallace is right. I don't care what anybody says about the NAACP, this woman right here, she was there for us. And I don't know what she did for y'all, but I know what she did for me, okay? And my daughter. Okay, now that's I'm just gonna put it out there. I don't know what she did for y'all, I don't care. But when nobody listened, she listened. Okay? And now I was here. So I know what happened. Sister Quete was there. Sister Quete held our hand and walked us through this for 4 years. And the rest of you have been like saints, angels. So we love you. We love you, brother. We love you, Ebony. We love you, my brother. We love you. Okay, we love all of you. This is my sister right here. And the spirit just will. This is what the spirit will do, but this is what we have to do.
That's right.
This is what we have to do. And we weren't loving people like this, but Aja was. So when she transcended, she left it here.
Hey, hello everybody. How are y'all doing? Hey. Did y'all enjoy the portion of food? I don't think you did. Okay, well, this is kind of explain what it is that you guys had. That's cucumber water laced with a little ginger, so I call it my bougie water. And then yeah, get you some more. Then if you want to pour some more cucumber water laced with ginger. There you go. So it helps alkaline your blood. And then the next we had was the hummus with the jalapeno garlic hummus. I even added a little turmeric in there to help with anti-inflammatory in your state of healing. You want to always make sure that you're combating against inflammation. Right. And then fresh fruit, and the cookies are actually gluten free, so I see y'all were right. So they're gluten free. Go ahead. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I know everybody's been here kind of sharing their story. Before I really get into talking about what I want to talk to you guys about, I want to start out with a meditation, just so we can ground all of our energy. Everybody's kind of all over the place. We've been eating, we've been talking, we've been sharing. And so I want everybody to kind of get on one accord so we can all kind of vibrate on the same frequency. We can all kind of share and be open to what I have to share with that space. All right, y'all ready? Y'all open for that? All right. Well, great. All right. So DJ. All right. All right. So if you are standing, if you want to find a place to sit, I want everybody to be comfortable. All right. So this relaxation is going to be dealing with grief and loss. Grief is a healing process. The emotions experienced after loss. This guided relaxation will help to normalize the grief experience, create a feeling of calm, and help you explain the grief process and the stages of grief. So while I'm speaking, I would like everybody to sit still, quiet. If you have a phone, if you can just turn it away from you. I don't want anybody to be distracted. I want everybody to be in this moment, all right, because that's what meditation does. It helps really kind of ground you in the moment. All right, so I want to find everybody to begin by finding a relaxed position, sitting down with your feet apart, your arms, your hands relaxed. All right. I want everybody to go ahead and close their eyes. And as I speak to you guys, just listen and focus on my voice. First, I want to talk a little bit about the different types of losses. Grief results from a variety of types of losses. Some kinds of losses are well recognized. For example, death of a loved one, divorce, loss of a job, or other types of losses can be just as difficult to deal with, but may be less well understood. Losses may include loss of a pet, relocation, changing jobs, infertility, illness, or any other event that changes life plans. Loss can be experienced with both negative and positive events. An event may be positive overall, for example, getting a promotion at work that you were hoping for, but still be associated with loss. Loss of what is familiar, loss of the old way of living. Any sort of change can be associated with the feeling of loss. Perhaps you are dealing with change that is reasonably positive and your grief is relatively simple to deal with. Maybe you are coping with a significant loss and are going through challenging grief process. Or maybe you have experienced a huge loss that has profoundly changed your life and are having difficulty dealing with grief. Whatever your situation, your grief is real, and your loss is important. Before thinking about your loss and beginning the process of dealing with grief, let's start by relaxing. Close your eyes and just sit quietly. You do not need to do anything in particular. Take a deep breath. And as you breathe out, feel your body sinking into the surface you are on. Breathe slowly in and out. In and out. Keep breathing slowly and calmly, letting your breathing relax you. Imagine your body as a fleece blanket. Imagine that the blanket is dipped into warm water. Imagine how it would feel to be floating, suspended in the warm water, gentle waves moving your body. Now picture being lifted out of the water. The heaviness of the water stretching the blankets, stretching your body, so you are very tall. Imagine the blanket is placed on a warm concrete surface in the sun. Imagine how it would feel to be this blanket, so warm and heavy, completely limp. Steam rises from your body, warmed from beneath by the warm concrete, and warmed from above by the sun. Imagine how it feels to be this damn blanket, and to have the water slowly evaporating, becoming lighter and lighter. Steam rising, carrying the water away. Feel your whole body becoming lighter and relaxed. So calm, so serene. Now that you have started to feel more relaxed, let's focus on dealing with grief. Dealing with grief is very tiring. You may be feeling very tired, stressed, and burned out lately. And this may be caused by the grief process. It is normal to be short-tempered and to have problems with memory and concentration. These symptoms of dealing with grief can be troubling, but they are normal. And they will go away. You will gradually get back to feeling like yourself again. Right now, you are healing. This process of dealing with grief is similar to the process of recovering from a physical injury. When a physical injury occurs, the body needs time to heal and recover. Dealing with grief is no different. The mind needs time to recover and heal. You need this time to cope and to deal with grief. Be kind to yourself and give yourself this time needed. Sometimes people who are dealing with grief feel like they are going crazy. You are not going crazy. What you are going through is normal and natural. There are several stages of grief, and it is normal to experience these stages, many more than once, in no particular order. It is normal to experience numbness, a time where you do not feel very much at all. This does not mean that you are insensitive or you do not care. Rather, it's the mind's way of protecting you, a normal way of processing a traumatic experience, such as loss. Numbness and shock are normal reactions to loss. Another stage you may experience is anger. You may find that you are angry, frustrated, upset. It is okay to be angry when you lose something that is important to you. Angry towards the person or the thing that you lost. Angry at the world, at God, at the causes of your loss. You may even feel angry towards others who have not been through what you have. Not all the anger is rational, and that's because you are grieving. People who are dealing with grief do not always think rationally. Your thinking will become more clear as you cope with the grief. The passage of time will help to decrease the irrational thoughts and extreme anger. You will probably go through the stage of questioning, wondering why, trying to get answers. It can be hard to understand why losses happen. As part of the process of dealing with grief, you may seek answers as to why the loss happened and try to make sense of what has occurred. You may find yourself bargaining, trying to make deals with others, with yourself, or with God, to try to make things go back the way they were before the loss happened. Questioning and bargaining are normal parts of dealing with grief. Another stage of dealing with grief is a stage of loneliness and sadness. This is a time of low energy, feeling slowed down, sad, maybe even depressed. During this time, it is hard to focus and concentrate. You experience memory problems, sometimes feel confused, distracted, have difficulty sleeping, like you're not yourself. It's normal to feel this way because you are grieving. It is okay to feel sad and upset when you experience loss. These feelings can be very intense and painful. While you are getting through this pain, remember, it is gradually decreased as you heal. Even though it may feel like the sadness will go on and on, you will not feel this way forever. Acceptance is another stage of grief. During this stage, you begin to recreate a new life in the aftermath of the loss. You begin to accept that thing that has changed. Your life is different, or maybe not better, maybe not worse, just different. Acceptance is the act of coming to the realization that loss has occurred, but you can move on. It is normal to proceed through the stages of grief in a non-linear order. For example, you may experience acceptance and then return again to anger. It is okay to be wherever you are at. It is okay to ask questions and to feel upset. You have the right to grieve. You can and will get through this. You will feel better and you will make a new life. Your new life may be different than the life you had planned, but you cannot always plan for losses. It is okay to experience a variety of emotions. It is okay to be angry. It is okay to be sad. It is okay to feel relief. And you still do care even if you are relieved in some way. It is okay to feel guilty. It is okay to feel impatient, to get upset at things that seem small and insignificant. You are going through a hard time, and a confusing mix of feelings is completely normal. This is a human experience of grief. You are coping and dealing with grief, and you will come out on the other side stronger. You do not deserve this loss. It is not your fault. You are dealing with a situation that is challenging, difficult, perhaps devastating, and you cannot be expected to overcome this immediately. There may be any reason why things happen this way. Many of the things that happen in life do not make sense. You can grow and become stronger as a result of these challenges. Even though there is no good explanation as to why you have to go through such difficult times, even after you have dealt with the grief, you will have times where you feel like you were right back where you started. This is normal. Everyone has their own way of going through the process of dealing with their grief. You do not need to grieve in a particular way. Do whatever is right for you. You can cry or not, be more busy or less busy, grieving in your own way. Though you need time in solitude to come to terms with the loss you've experienced, it is also important that accept and support from others. Reach out to someone who can offer you support. You might want to call a friend, even if you haven't spoken in a while. It is okay to ask for what you need. Often people do not know how to support you and they can feel relieved if you ask for something specific. Ask for help. Even if it's just calling a friend and asking to eat a meal together. Any small act of support you can feel less alone. You may even want to seek out others who are dealing with grief to find support for them, from the people who relate to what you're going through. You can find support in groups, in communities, or on the internet, or right here, right now, today. Allow yourself the time you need to grieve. Take good care of yourself. Eat well. Get exercise. Try to get regular sleep. Weight schedule. You need the strength. Now, if we're going to take a moment to be with your feelings, and so just allow and face the grief and the emotions, and accept that you are grieving. I'll pause just for a few seconds, and during this time, you may just choose to relax and breathe deeply, or you might decide to just go with the emotions you have and experience the grief. Do whatever feels right for you right now. Let's conclude this exercise with some relaxation to allow you to get a break from your grief you are going through. Focus on your breathing for a few moments. Breathe slowly in and out, in and out. Slowly breathing, relaxing, creating a picture in your mind. Imagine a peaceful place where you have no worries. You may picture a comfortable room, quiet, peaceful. Imagine that room is warm and has a comfortable place for you to sit or lie down, where you can relax. Imagine sitting or lying down on maybe a pile of soft pillows, releasing all of your worries with a sigh. In this room, you have no cares, no worries, no problems left to worry about or to think about at all. This is a place where you can completely relax. You can take a break here, even if it's just for a moment, to get away from all the stress and tension. Picture this room in your mind. What does this room look like? Create detailed images of this room. Windows, doors, pictures, chairs. So comfortable, completely serene. You can, now we're going to return to your room. You can return to this room in your imagination whenever you need a break, whenever you need to relax, whenever things get difficult and you just need a rest. You can picture this room in your mind. Now it's time to conclude this relaxation exercise. We're going to reawaken to a full, complete level of awareness. But when you do, you're going to remember that your body is going to continue to heal as you go through this breathing process, and you know that you will get through it. I'm going to count backwards from 5 to 1. And as I get to 1, we'll be at a full level of awareness. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. How was that? I could feel the energy of the room, like really just kind of, because what we did before when we came in here, everybody brought in their story. They brought in their grief. They brought in their ancestors and the loved lost ones that they left behind. So I just wanted everybody to kind of equalize that so the ancestors can kind of be happy and settled and kind of, let us really deal with the work we need to deal with here on this plane. But before I get started, I want to introduce myself. My name is Ebony Beyond. I am the owner and founder of Journey to a Dream Health and Wellness. I am a certified holistic health coach. And basically what that is, I work with men and women to help them find their authentic path, to get them back to their role in health and well-being. So it's really not, I don't focus on trying to get people into bikini body, all right, that's not my focus. My focus is to heal you, all right? Because bikini body, if that's what's supposed to happen, will follow. Because, first, the mind must be, right, where your body needs to go, all right? My physical body, everything that you see standing here in front of you, is a result of my thought process, all right? So if my thought process is broken, I'm going to be a broken pile of mess in front of you. So any issues that we deal with on the surface that we deal with, that people see, whether it's overweight, whether it's acne, whether it's broken, hurting joints and pains, whether it's poor dysfunctional relationships that we have, right? If it's the inability to just cope with life, right? Those begin with our thoughts and thought processes. What happens with grief and loss, right? We've all lost something. That is a part of life, is to lose. But we all go through that process differently. It all hits us at different places and different stages in our life. It gives us different experiences. So even though I may have lost things in my life, I can't necessarily know what your loss feels like, but I can empathize. So I bring that today as my empathy and my compassion. This room is here for a reason, Mothers Against Youth Genocide. I have a son. I have an 8-year-old son, and he's the light of my life. And I want to make sure that I realize that right now, right today, the choices that I make, are plans for his future. All right. And those of us that, and I'm still in childbearing years, and those that are in childbearing years and still are planning on having children, realize that you're carrying future generations still within you as women, right? As women, we are carrying our future generations with us. Men, your day-to-day activities that you come in, right? So my ovaries and my seeds and my eggs, that's the hardware, right? That's the hardware of the computers. And the men, when you're coming in contact, your everyday attitude, right? The confrontations, the stress that you have to deal with, when you're dealing with loss, if you're dealing with grief, or just the stress of really, I have honest conversations with black men, just the stress of just being a black man in America, right? That encodes your DNA and the sperm that you reproduce every 72 hours. Right? So that's the software that is now going into the seed. Right? So my DNA has been entered for years. This grief that we are experiencing here today and the personal losses and the stories that we're experiencing here today did not begin today. It did not begin on March 3rd, 2010. It did not begin in 2009 for you. It did not begin in 2009 for you. It happened hundreds of years ago. It happened generations and generations and generations ago. Okay? This is a loss that has been, it's like malware, right? It's that virus that has attached itself to our DNA, to our authentic self, to that blueprint, to that code, those binary codes that tell us how we operate as divine beings, right? So when we have these things that have happened to us throughout generations, and then we experience it here. So it's not just the loss that I experienced here today. This is not my son or my daughter that I lost here today. This is generations of pain that I have lost, right? That you come back and you bring back and you re-experience. Me, my own personal story, which brings me to being a healer. The difference between a healer and a doctor is the healer has actually had to heal themselves and work on themselves. I heal myself daily. All right, I am a work in progress. Right now, as I'm talking to you, I'm also speaking to myself. So realize that I don't come to you and just speak to you in vain of things that I've read out of a book or just theories. These are things that I've had to experience. And for me to walk this life, because I chose this life and the ancestors gave me the blessing to walk this life, I had to experience things so I can come and talk to you and realize that I understand, I empathize, I am compassionate because I have too suffered my own loss. Right? My loss isn't in the context of what most of us are here today, as well as youth genocide, is really about the brutality of the system, right? How the system has continued to victimize us, right? And are we going to be victims? Are we going to be victors? Are we going to be fighters? Are we going to lay down and just take what's been given to us? We're going to stand up and fight, right? Last year in 2013, I was forcibly evicted from my home in Tarrant County. I was fighting against the banks, Wells Fargo, and the banks, and I did this fight on my own. I got some information. I started reading the law. We got upset. I was like, no, this isn't fair. This isn't right. They should not be doing these things to me. You know, I see the robo signing. I see them all. Everything is, is fake. Everything, the legit, the loan was sold. I can go through the whole story. I don't want to bore you necessarily with the details of the story, except for just to underline the system of how, loss is experienced. So I'm going to the courts every day, dealing with the judges, dealing with the DAs, dealing with the lawyers, and I realized, why do I need a lawyer? Because these lawyers are idiots. That's right. But the thing of it is, they have now sworn their allegiance to the Queen, so they are now in collective agreement with each other. So it doesn't matter how smart I am or how many, code of federal regulations I can recite. They have all collectively agreed, right? So even when we're talking about elected officials, you have to realize that they're a lawyer. They've already assigned their allegiance. It doesn't, you have to really start thinking about that as well. All right, so that's a whole other story. But that being said, I'm gonna tell you the ancestors that they asked me, because I do know that I was brought here. I wanted to be a healer. I wanted to. All of us want to be successful. We have those things we want, not just for myself, but for my son, for future generations. I wanted to start a legacy of something that I could not just believe and be comfortable, but for my children and children's children, and many generations that benefit from. I fight the courts. I'm in the courthouse. They tried 3 or 4 times to actually evict me. I stayed in that house many more months than I probably should have. But the until it was time for me to go. It's actually coming up on the anniversary, May 20th, 2013. That day, actually, there was an F5. Oya was doing her work, and right up north on 35 in Oklahoma, that was one of the biggest tornadoes that they've had in extremely long time. On that day, the constable comes and stands in front of my door, with this letter. I'm sorry, ma'am, this time I really do have to evict you. I knew they were coming. I felt them driving down the block. Their ancestors had already told me. I'd already been praying and meditating that day. Me and my son stood right in front of my altar. We prayed to the ancestors that, you're going to protect us. I felt them. I saw them coming. I was like, I cannot leave my house call my friends, they're here at my door. I just start calling out the answers. Y'all are not going to take, y'all might touch this stuff, but y'all cannot harm me. Y'all cannot have it. This is not everything that I lose here today, and what I had a glimpse in that moment, and really what I want to share to you today, what I had a glimpse of in that moment when they're getting my possessions. I've been in that house since I was since 1996. I've been in that house since 1996. I've paid for that house many more times. Oh, that house has a straight. I mean, I never missed a mortgage payment. I never missed it. It was never late until the banks tried to trick me into being late and trying to fix my loan. Okay, so I've paid for this house. I've invested into this house. This house was my house. My son was born into this house. And when they come into my house and they grab my belongings and throw them in trash bags and out in the yard like it's just trash.
Oh, Lord.
Then let's talk about, sending the cop, he's like, well, I'm gonna let you stay in here, but you need to be, in order. I need you can't get in the way, so I go in my room and try so they won't touch my belongings that I wear. I pack up my altar so they can't touch that, and I'm just praying. I'm walking through the house, I'm calling in every single spirit that walks with me, through me, and for me, and they're gonna protect me. When they come in on that, I had no contingency plan. I had no idea where I was going to go. I made no contingency plan because I was in a fight. When you're in a fight, you're in a ring, you don't worry about what's going to happen when you get out of that ring if you get knocked out. You're in that fight. It took a lot of my energy, my own personal power. I'm going to tell you, I've learned how to control my chi, of being able to sublimate my own core desires and be able to turn off those stress hormones, the cortisol, and turn on my serotonin so they can flood my brain with release, and so that I can stand and fight and be present. It is possible, but you have to stand in that moment and accept whatever's happening to you as well. So I'm calling my ancestors, and I just feel this energy just is building and building in this room. And the cop, and so the mix of the people. So we got Wells Fargo who have illegally traded my home off to Freddie Mac, and they got the courts and the JP and everybody's in cahoots. And I know, and it's actually a brother that works downtown in Tarrant County Courthouse that didn't fix the house and was the ones that didn't get sold on the block. Just a brother. So all kinfolks are not my kinfolks. They're in there, and the cop was like, well, ma'am, I'm sorry, this same thing that happened to me. I had a mortgage, and they got me on that quick reverse interest, and I had to lose my house, I had to end up giving it back. And he's like, well, my hands are tied. I said, exactly, you a slave just like everybody else. And I tell this cop in his face, I don't have no problem with telling him the truth. He tells me right there, he said, my hands are tied. Right, do you see that? You have to realize that when you're fighting the cops and the police, they are just the minions, all right? They're the minions. They've been brainwashed to just I'm doing my job. Yeah. And I told the cops, the world is going to end by people. It's going to be destroyed by people in the name of doing my job. I'm just doing my job. I'm just doing my job is not an excuse. Because as a divine being, you have a responsibility, a collective responsibility to everybody that's around you. So that being said, I go and I talk to him, and I'm like real. Like I'm in the moment. I don't care. Y'all put my stuff in trash bags. I'm giving him the riot act. I'm already telling him how I know the system is corrupt. And he's looking at me like he already knows, but it's nothing that he can do about it. Right? So 4 p.m. I still don't know where I'm going to live. My stuff's still in the driveway, in my front yard. And I've been collecting these things. It's not that I'm not materialistic, but I've collected, like I have nice things because these are things that I invested in my house, and they're just throwing them out there like it's trash. Right? 4 o'clock, actually, a brother that I had met the week before, because I go and make a plea to the community, because many people didn't even really know my story. I go and speak in front of the community at the bookstore in Fort Worth, and one brother, we're talking and communicating that week, and he's trying to help me get some paperwork, trying to figure out how can we get this through the courts, because the courts had decided they're going to kick me out of bankruptcy court. They were in cahoots in bankruptcy court. My lawyers were in cahoots. Found out the lawyer, when I finally got a lawyer, my lawyer had been disbarred. I mean, everything that you could think of to, right? 4 o'clock, the brother I met the week before, he calls me. I called at 4 o'clock. He calls me. Every now and then I might have an house to say. By 6 o'clock, I have a key to the house. I didn't have anybody. I didn't know anybody really to call because I'm just a friend that I had just recently, made acquaintance with a few months before. She called out the community. The community is out there helping me pack everything up. But I also got my neighbors. I've been in this house since 1996, right? They walk about like vultures trying to figure out what they can pick off and they can buy and what's going on. What's going on? None of your business is what's going on. Either you gonna help. Are you gonna sell that? No, I'm not selling that, right? So these are the things that, so I'm tying in, as you see as I'm talking, I'm tying in a lot of the points that everybody's already kind of brought in today, right? This is my story, right? We all have that same story. We all have kind of shared an experience on different levels. Actually, I wasn't really doing it alone. I had supposed to be a friend. She kind of instigated me into this movement of showing me how everything happens. Yeah, we're going to rent your house. We're going to help you. We're going to do this. I called her the day. They're in my house taking my stuff. I need to go get some water. I don't have my car. Oh my I haven't spoken to David. So, I'm dealing with that loss. I'm dealing with the loss. I'm dealing with loss of betrayal, right? I'm dealing with the victimization of the courts. So I intimately see and know how the courts get you on the criminal side and on the civil side, right? So they take our bodies and our land, right? Because that's the only thing that has value. Human resources. That's what you get your paycheck out of, right? Money is not real. Money has no value. It has only intrinsic value. It has the energy, human energy that we put into it, right? So, as a health coach, that's really, just helping people to understand, I have my own story, but how do you process yourself? How can I stand here today? And actually the topic was, I could have been bitter, but I got better. I could have been real bitter. That whole story I told you right now, I could be the angry black woman that they always want to quick to portray. And, like I said, and even in the meditation, yes, I do have a right to be angry. I have a right to every single emotion that I have, but anger does not serve me. Because anger puts me on the same vibrational frequency as the people who have tried to victimize me. Right? So we're looking at energy levels here, right? And, one thing that he came to me in a meditation, it was like, okay, we sleep, was, sometimes you can't fight fire with fire, you have to fight it with water. You have to learn how to become that water, because as African people, as original people, as in our DNA, we have the ability to become anything because we possess that in our DNA. Encoded in our DNA is everything that is here on this earth. That's it. It's the universe. You better know it. So when you learn and realize that, right, you can really empower yourself. So when I look at loss, there is really no loss, because even though I lost that house, there's a lot of negative energy left in that house. That house, moving in the house that I'm in now, it's not the ideal house, but it keeps me uncomfortable enough to keep me moving forward. Because life does require a certain amount of discourse to create movement. You cannot be stagnant and still and expect change to happen. Alright? This is about energy. Energy is neither created nor destroyed. It's only transferred from one object to the next. In the beginning there was a word, and with the word there was God. And with God there was with the word. There was nothing before a word. And what is the word? That word was light, and it was energy. It breathed life into everything that he formed. And nothing created before he thought of it.
That's it.
Right? Energy, light, thought. That's where everything manifests from. Even all the things that they try to do and do against us, they cannot kill us. When you are naturally strong and a natural leader, and I don't have to do anything to oppress you, because I naturally can stand on my own. I don't need no one to govern me. I am my own woman.
That's it.
Right? I can walk my own path, choose my own steps, and make my own decisions. But when we give our powers over and have to call the police to break up our arguments,
That's right.
That's right.
when we can't get along as a family and learn how to disagree but still love each other towards a common goal,
Right.
we're never going to go and progress anywhere. Right. So again, that energy, anger, loss, despair, those things are also associated with scarcity. Right? That's really what all this comes into, is scarcity, is that I'm afraid that I don't have enough, so I have to take something that does not belong to me. But I know within me I have everything that I need available to me. I did not need to fret even when I came here today. I was running a little late, but I was like, you know what, I'm glad I'm coming to one of my people's functions because I was right on time. I don't worry. I was like, how am I going to get all of this stuff out of my car? Where am I going to park? When I pulled up, I said, oh, parking over there. Please find me a parking spot. I got to go right on the curb on the street, right? I walk up here, I come back down. I got 4 or 5 people ready to help me with hands. If I came any earlier, they would have been here. Right? It's synchronicity. And even today, I met Ish Time through a catering event that I did. It was happened to be a last minute week. I had 5 days of plans for the catering event that a Quake had asked me for. I know that I am walking my path. When you're walking your path, even though those things that you think are knocking you off, it's just your GPS is turning you go left or east. Don't worry about northwest. And where is it you're really trying to go? Because when you think you have to go, you might not be taking the right direction. You might not be driving the right vehicle. Right? So, also as a health coach, that vehicle, your body is that vehicle that you need to keep connected. Right? So we have to really make sure we're taking care of our bodies for this fight, because you have to be strong. And before, even though my mind really wanted to fight and do these things, before I really took ownership of my health, I didn't have the energy. I had cloudy brain, I had low energy, my body felt like it was falling apart, from allergies and gastrointestinal problems, severe depression, near suicidal depression. Your diet can also contribute to that as well. The things that they're exposing to us and putting in the air, the TVs, different frequencies and things. So we have to realize it's not, sometimes when I think I'm going crazy, I realize it's not me going crazy, it's the things that are around me. So as I begin to ground and tune and know and own myself, I can filter a lot of that stuff out. It doesn't affect me, it doesn't change, my course. I can be more in tune, okay, are these my emotions or is it somebody else's emotions? Is this the other one who's feeling the emotions? So again, if we're talking about the energy, we're talking about loss, we're talking about grief. Yes, we have all lost something. Most of you probably know we've all probably lost loved ones. Some of you have lost loved ones tragically, too early, whether it's disease, brutality, violence. I know once you can experience sayings like, things happen for a reason and things. But when you're from a spiritual point of view, know that we don't get anything that we cannot handle. And those people that we may have lost, and we think, even though they're physically not here, energy cannot be created or destroyed. My body is just a vessel for my soul and my being. So
that's it.
If I breathe out that last breath, I am no longer here. This is just a collection of minerals, right? So your loved ones are not lost, they're just transitioned. They're just on the other. So also with that ancestral veneration, learning how to heal and not just, finding a place, a sacred space that you can talk and commune with those that you have lost. So they can give you directions from the other side of how to handle things. And so that on the ethereal side, on the other side of things, that they can be working their magic.
That's right.
So those things, they can open those doorways for you, right? So they can turn that red light green when you need to go, right? So they can make you invisible when that cop, is trying to stop you or harass you. Or when your name shows up on the docket, the judge doesn't realize it's you when they go ahead and give you a court date instead of rejecting it, right?
All right.
Oh, yes, that's for real.
So,
You better know it is.
Look, I know my things were thrown out of court before they even had a chance to even look at it. All right? They already decided when I have my trustee, and legally a trustee says that I'm not capable, responsible of holding my own affairs, so I need somebody appointed to do that for me. So he's supposed to be acting in my own best interest. See that I know more than just help. I understand what's going on and how things are supposed to work. But the trustee is talking to the bank and they let them sign another order to get my house taken out of bankruptcy court. I had to go through and experience these things, and I had so that I could come and really be here to speak to you today. Actually, I didn't plan on sharing that story today. And it's almost like I was asked what I wanted to speak about. I had a topic. She was like, just come from your heart. And I didn't write. I kind of wrote some notes down. But all I did was I prayed and I meditated. I prayed and I meditated last night. I prayed and I meditated today. I prayed and meditated when I came here. And even when I was here, I was just open to let Spirit just use my tongue to speak through me. So this is not me speaking. This is Spirit speaking through me. So I hope that I have touched you and just realize that, we all experience things, and sometimes we don't understand why, right? Each time you were already in this fight, but you already had the background to know how to deal with it. So when another mother has it, she's just been going to work every day from the 9 to 5, and she just thinks this something happens out of the blue. You can be like, no, mama, no, this was planned before your baby was even born.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yes.
Sometimes those of us that experience those things, those that collectively in the group, we know, we see things, we experience things, and we sometimes often move past why me, why does that happen? I don't understand. And of course, we can go to, pieces of, corruption. But this is just a human experience. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. So, when you don't understand, don't rely on your flesh to give you that answer. Because it will not hold that answer. Because one thing, your flesh is only capable of experiencing and being able to relay a very small percentage of what's actually going on around you. Right? We can only see a small percentage of light. We can only hear a small percentage of sound. We can only smell a small percentage of things that we smell. And even when we eat and we taste, if we eat and taste and try to consume too much, what happens? You fat and you die. Right? There is a limit to what you can expose yourself to. There's a limit of what you can experience. So that's when you must rely on your spiritual essence. Because your spiritual essence will give you the answers that your flesh cannot comprehend. Right? So I just want to leave you here today. I hope that you guys have enjoyed everything that I've talked to you about today. As a health coach, I just work with you guys. I do have my newsletter list. I would like for you guys to sign up on my iPad so that we can stay in touch. I'm really passionate about, getting my community healthy, because we have to have the health span of the fight. We can't be on blood pressure medication. We can't be on diabetes. We can't be dependent. We can't go from the, prison industrial complex to the healthcare industry, right? We can't teeter-totter from one to the next, because that's the balance of where we're at, our life and our death is really at. So, taking ownership of your life, of who you are, where you are, it's really important to make the changes that you need. So thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you. All right. Now, can we play some happy music? Because I think we can be happy with that. Can we get happy? Let's get a happy song. We need to get a happy song to bring up the energy on the kind of as we go around. But, I'm a dancer.
Thank you for coming. Alex, I'm Sheila. Thank you so much. You guys can
Yeah.